I will live my life. As those generations depend on me, and I will teach and encourage all of mine to do the same. Silverback! Silverback! Oh!
And I say this in my 26 years, this is the first program that I've seen an immediate impact, especially with boys.
Welcome to another edition of the monthly Silverback Society Show. I'm your moderator, Norman Robinson. On this broadcast, we have with us our executive director and co-founder of the Silverback Society, Mr. Lloyd Dennis. And once again, Lloyd is here to give us an update on the Silverback Society as well as discuss the recent annual volunteer recruitment event called That Gathering. This year, the gathering, which brings together new and returning volunteers to share an in-depth orientation of the manhood training and mentoring movement, was held in October and once again graciously hosted by the McKenna Museum of African American Art. It's good to see you as always, Lloyd.
It's good to be seen.
Yeah.
Huh?
You had a great...
The new saying is it's better to be seen than viewed.
Hey, listen, I'll second that. Yeah, this year you had a great gathering of men. So how does this gathering prepare the new mentors as well as the returning mentors for the upcoming session?
Well, it was an opportunity for us to once a year take our new recruits and put them in a room with men who had done the work so they could have casual conversations, ask questions, not necessarily of me, and actually find out how other guys enjoyed the work. And then we had to do a formal presentation where we kind of let them understand how we did what we did, and why we did it that way. Because there's a Silverback Society is a specific process and with specific concepts that we really hold close to. There's some things we just don't vary from.
A lot of people don't understand that. They think we're just mentoring boys, just in there showing them what to do and how to do it. They don't get the concept.
This year we even went deeper. One of the things over the summer we've had meetings with groups of mentors. We're really sticky about getting feedback from the men that's actually. And one of the things they said is that the mentors wanted a preparation retreat because they wanted to even go deeper and have a deeper understanding of the process. And so we did that, and maybe next year we'll have some video from that. But the whole idea is that there's a specific way to teach, and there's also a specific way to earn trust. And what we find in the Silverback Society is that it doesn't do any good to teach if eventually you're not going to earn the trust, because basically the knowledge that we impart is not embraced as truth until those boys trust us. We're in a trusting relationship. So it's a balancing act. It's about teaching, but it's also about engendering trust and letting these kids know that we love them, we accept them, and we don't judge them.
So you go in with an actual curriculum that they study.
That's a curriculum. The men look at the curriculum. This year we actually handed out binders where every man has a copy, and the expectation is that every man goes in prepared, knowing where that curriculum is, and understanding that we are not trying to teach them everything at one time, because one of the things that we've learned is that knowledge is cumulative. So let's teach this, because it's like building blocks. You can't put the second block until there's one under it. And so the kind of the knowledge base that we work with these kids requires that, and it requires the patience to not try and teach them everything at the same time. Get this one point in, get it accepted, get them to understand it, internalize it, really believe it, and then let's go on and add something to that, because then they'll be prepared for the next piece.
Give the viewers an example of a piece of that curriculum.
So before we get so we teach about respect. That's the first thing that we teach, is the difference between the respect that the kids talk about on the street and the respect that we get as men in our homes and families and community. So it's basically getting kids to understand the difference between the respect you get for what you can do for people and the respect people, or what they call respect, that people get for what they can do to people. Last night we had murders, a shooting in the French Quarter, and trust me, that shooting was about somebody wanting respect. And it's young people not understanding that that's not respect, and that's not how you get respect. You get respect by being in a position to be able to do for the people that depend on you. You know, I get my respect. When I walk in my house, I get my respect. My kids, my grandkids, everybody knows that their life is better because we're in it. And for these kids, that basic piece of knowledge, that for many of us, we assume everybody knows that. These kids didn't know that. They really believed that respect was about domination. You know, they didn't understand that respect is about being the rock, being the foundation for a family, being foundation and rock for community, and getting your respect from people and having respect that we can keep for the rest of our life. So without that knowledge and without wanting to be like that, then there's no reason to learn the rest of it.
So you have to start.
You have to start
with the fundamental.
With the fundamental. And once you get a kid to say, you know what, I would like to be respected like that, now he's ready to learn something else. One of the things that we've figured out over the years is that if a young person doesn't have hope, then his next decision doesn't matter. You know, if you don't have hope for better, if you don't think that life can be better, then your next decision doesn't matter. The only time the next decision matters is if you have a goal, if there's some place you believe you can go. That's when the decisions matter. So our process is specific, and we've used it over the years, and every time I try and change it, I mess up.
But you're expanding.
Every time.
You're expanding the program this year. So, what are the changes in store for the program next year?
The program next year, so what we're going to do next year is this gathering that you're about to see is probably going to be the last gathering. Next year, we're going to transition into recruiting on the fly. In other words, now if a young man went to the website and click he wanted to join, well, he would have to wait all the way around to the gathering to be engaged. From now on, if you go to that website and you click join, you're going to get a phone call, and in short order, you're going to have an opportunity to meet, and we're going to get you on board and get you involved. That's what we want to do.
And we want to give people an example of what the gathering looks like this year.
Okay, that's it.
That's it.
That's it. Let's look at the gathering, y'all. And this is what we do when we come together and get our men ready.
With no further ado, I'm very short-winded, I guess, so I'm going to turn it back over to Lloyd. Thank you for coming, and please enjoy the museum. That's why we put it here. Okay.
Thank you. This is, for me, a very rewarding program. My grandfather told me one time, my mother's educated. My grandfather told me one time my grades slacked and I came home with something like a C or D or something, even for like a progress report. So my grandfather asked me, see, you're gonna come on earth and just take air and get a Social Security number, huh? So from that point in time, I tried to do my best because they knew I had to be pushed at some point in time. I had to do what I had to do. So I'm in Durham, North Carolina on a project at Duke University, and he put out a call on social media saying that, you know, we need to get some people. Now, there was never a question. So I called him on the phone. I said, you're looking for people? I said, I'll help you as much as I can. I said, I'm in town, and you know, I pick and choose my projects, so I can be there to help you. He said, great, and I've been on board ever since. So the school he put me at was that I was assigned to. I was assigned to Lafayette, and near and dear to my heart because I came up in that Holly Grove, Birdtown area, so close to the area, so it was able to relate to the children and whatever. And I felt like I see people all the time, and people come to me and say, you know, man, they ought to do something. They ought. Who's the they? Who's the they? They ought to do something. Who is they that you want to do something. My mama asked me one day, she said, you have a son, why are you doing this? Because I think I have the energy and the time, and I think that's my responsibility. Again, like my grandfather said back in the day, you know, you here for something, you gotta pay a debt for something, so you gotta do your part. So that's what I do my part. So I go there, and it was rough in the beginning, that first year, and Lloyd said, just sit back and watch, and you see what's gonna happen. And then some rough days in there, and I wanted to say, man, you're doing this wrong. You want to raise your voice and say something like, you know, hey boy, sit down, you know, what you doing? But he had a method to what he did. And then I followed that, and I sat down and watched. And then by the time we had got around to the Dookie Chase thing, I saw this epiphany. I had this epiphany, and I was saying, look at these, they ain't the same kids sitting there. So what he does is working. So since that day that I went to Dookie Chase and I sat there with them young men, and then I saw that there was some good in that, I was on board. Again, I enjoy being at Lafayette. I'm gonna probably be at Lafayette. I'm not gonna go anywhere. And you know, I got a great team of people that help us out over there. The principal is very supportive of us that we do. But you know, for anybody sitting on the fence tonight, or anybody that's thinking that, you know, let me come see what this is about. This is truly you doing not only God's work, I'm gonna say that, but you're doing the work of the community, because it's very well needed. These little guys really don't have a clue. And sometimes they don't have people at home to tell them, or they don't have the connection of somebody to sit down and talk to them. And you will be there. And it's as simple as you telling your story, and you telling them that you showing them that you're coming there with some time out of your schedule. It's been I gotta tell you, it's been a wonderful experience for me, and I wouldn't do nothing else. I wouldn't do a thing else. It's great. And I want to thank Lloyd and all the people that has helped Jimmy Woods and DeWine and all those people that supported him and make it go further, because that's what it's all about, you know. As we are the village, you know, we got to do the thing. So that's pretty much my story. So thank y'all for your time.
For you, Lloyd, I'm not going to be as long as Trick, but that was my first year. Obviously, a lot of you all don't know that I didn't grow up in the system, so I'm new to the school system of New Orleans. I grew up as a country boy in Mississippi, and the thing we had, what I tried to put forth to the kids was the village. I grew up in the village, actual village, and we took care of each other. So I see the mentors here at the village for the young people. And I could see the difference from the first day I got in there to the last day we were together. You could see the difference. It's not 100%, but majority of them. And I also found out that 75% of the young people there were below the poverty line, and they just didn't have any leadership at home. So, and I could see I was making a difference in a few of the people. I've been in New Orleans pretty close to 40 years since I graduated, and I'm just happy and glad to be a part of an organization like this. I'm back again this year. That's it.
So the Silverback Society
is going to change the entire dynamic
of young people, but also
it's just going to change the entire dynamics of the environment that we live in and the world.
As it relates to what is happening in education.
I think the mentoring program is a success, and that more states should incorporate the Silverback Society form.
It's a space where folks who have been disconnected from the system are able to plug back in and like seed into the lives of young people.
But the knowledge and experience was given to me by my elders, and I need to pass that on.
And then they become attached to the school that they work at, the faculty. They become a face that's recognized, that's loved.
I'm very proud to be part of the organization.
As a younger black man, it is stuff like this that shows me which path I need to go down, and I'm just proud to be a part of the Silverback Society.
Thank y'all so much. This was certainly a summer that I had to work hard. I had to get together and try to let talk to middle managers about why we're successful. And it's because of consistency. We make a commitment to these boys that we're gonna be there on a consistent basis, and we expect that the administration work with us to provide that opportunity, that sacred hour, so that we can have that consistency with the boys. Of course, we have to dance around testing and so forth, but we try to provide that consistency. That's what the boys need, because men generally come in and out of their lives, and their boys are now shocked when we see a group of men, successful men, that's willing to hang with them. And we'll go through the training, and Lloyd goes through the training and tells you, and many of you have the experience of what happens in the 4th week or the 5th week with the boys, because they're subconsciously just testing us about that issue of consistency. And very few programs are put in the middle of their day. Most of the programs are after-school programs. We're kind of unique. We're unique because we as the Silverbacks, we want to accommodate our mentors. Many of our mentors, in fact, most of our mentors, they may have children or grandchildren that they bring to school in the morning, pick up in the afternoon. So we have this window from 9:30 to 2:30, and we ask that if the schools want us, that they help us accommodate us in that window of Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. So ultimately, if you're looking at it and you're looking at choosing a school, here is the schedule that we have with the choices of the sacred hours this year. Some of the schools you were in last year, the sacred hour has changed. You notice these 3 concentric circles. These are foundational issues for all nonprofits. If they're going to be legitimate, they have to always evaluate themselves based upon these 3 concentric circles. And we do too. The reason why you're here and we get the support of our mentors is because you see the value that we provide for these boys and we provide for the community. If you didn't see and feel that value, you wouldn't give us that support. The same thing for the general public and our investors. When we go to our investors, we have to demonstrate value. And that value is in what we produce in the boys and in the community. And when we do that, then we get that particular support. But in order for us to produce the value, the Silverbacks, we have to build our own internal capacity. Every team in each school has to build the capacity, because only with capacity are we able to do a better job in producing the value that we want from these boys. And we have known, and those mentors who have been here a long time, that capacity is, number one, our consistency. As a team mentors, we produce men in front of these boys on a consistent basis. That's number one. The second, in terms of our capacity, is the curriculum. This curriculum works. And those who have gone through it, they know it works. So that what we're looking for, as the teams come together, and the teams are together each week around the curriculum for that day, we'll find that our capacity as a team increases. As it increases, we can produce, a better product in the boys. And as we produce that better product in the boys, we produce that value that the administrators are looking for, the value that the investors are looking for, and in our own hearts, the sense of satisfaction that we are producing what we know we want to produce in these boys. Thanks so much.
No, and at the high school level, we have a few of the guys here now that are on the committee. Kevin, that's back in the back. David was sitting back by me, and Damien. Damien left. But we got together last year, and it's really the point of the consistency that was mentioned earlier. The idea that came up was the point that it was great to turn around and do what we do for them in the 8th grade. And we're there on a consistent basis. We would give them our phone numbers, tell them, hey, if you ever need us anytime in life, give us a call. But they were going off to high school, and that's one of the things that we wanted to do, is turn around and go off and actually have them to form organizations at the high school level where they could communicate with each other, move forth and do some of the things in life that we were hoping that they would do. And one of the things we found out is that, and you guys need to be aware of this, that the Silverback young men that we train, they actually stand out when they go into high school. And Demetri St. Julian was over at Warren Eastern one day. There was a young man that recognized him who stood up, said the pledge. It was heartwarming, and he said tears almost came to his eyes at the time that the young man did it. There was a vice principal over at Warren Eastern that stopped Lloyd one day, said, let me tell you a quick story. There was a young man that he had saw at the school that for some reason he stood out. He didn't know why, but it come to find out that he was a Silverback. Wasn't that he was wearing the wristband. Those guys will walk off, go off with a backpack. There's a variety of ways that they can be identified just by the names as far as that's concerned, but the way he carried himself was what stuck out. And he had to hurry up and tell Lloyd that we want him over here. And so that's the pilot school that we're at. We're at Warren Eastern. We plan on going to other high schools along the way. We currently have 44 young men that are at, 44 is on the list at this time. And it's growing over at Warren Eastern. And one other story real quickly I'd like to say about those young men. They came from 11 different middle schools that are over there now. We got the word that during orientation over the summer, these guys were getting together for breakfast, they got together for lunch, and when they had break times, they would be hanging out together. It's that camaraderie and keeping in mind that they came from 11 middle schools, for them to get together. Now, we have a young man that was over there acting as the president. He actually kind of spread the word, kind of identified who they were, and they started getting together. But it was almost 30 of them this past summer that got together, started hanging out. And these guys are actually stepping up to the plate. The drum major, which we're very glad he came from Fantasy where me and my guys are at. But he, in his sophomore year, is a drum major over at Warren Eastern, leading that band, which is an excellent band. We have guys that are captains of groups within the band. We have guys that are in the Silverbacks that are captains on the football team. And mind you, most of the guys that we're dealing with over there right now are freshmen and sophomores. And that's the kind of leadership that you guys need to recognize from 11 of our middle schools that we've sent into Warren Eastern. We plan on going to a car.
And that would be that.
And
Landry Walker.
Is the next place that we plan on going to. What's that?
Melody Landry was fine with me.
Okay, all right. We'll be looking for guys to go over there and help out with it. No, but it's an excellent thing that we're doing, and we need to recognize what we're doing. One last thing, and I would have said this earlier if I'd have realized it. I knew you were limiting my time. But one other thing that came to light, a few weeks ago, I was over at the school, and it was brought to our attention that one of the main goals that the young men that are in the program over at Warren Eastern that they want to do is they want to reach back and be mentors to the middle schools. We are working on something to bring them into the year-end program, have a panel to where they can say what they want to say, answer questions of the young men as they come in. But that's our next generation of mentors. They've already started talking about once they get through high school and college, they immediately want to turn around and come back into the system and become mentors. And those are the kind of things that you guys are doing on a regular basis and planting the seeds, and they're seeing the benefits as far as that's concerned. I'm gonna end it there. I could go on for hours.
And what we have to do is do what works for them, not what works for us. That's a big deal, y'all. We have a psychologist here. That's a big deal, I'm done. And then we ask them a question. Say, so what do you want from the people in your life? You want them to fear you, or you want the love and respect that we get? Since 2007, we have never had a little boy claim that he wanted his people to fear him. They all want what we get. And that's when we kind of make the deal. So here's the deal. If you hand out the pledge sheet, which has the pledge, and the 7 silverback where it said, you agree to this, we will come every week and teach you how to be men like us. Is that a deal? Since 2007, they all sign up. Say this after me. I know you can do better than that.
I know you can do better than that.
Don't that feel better? Doesn't that feel better? There's a way to get corrected. Because what you're saying is, no, what you're doing isn't going to work. But I believe in you. I know you can do. Now, I didn't say I think you can do better, did I? I said I know you can do better. So let's say that again. I know you can do better than that.
I know you can do better than that.
That's powerful. That's what we're going to do.
Thank you very much for joining us for another episode of the Silverback Society Show, Raising and Mentoring Young Men. The show airs every Tuesday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. As always, we leave you with our motto as inspired by the great abolitionist Frederick Douglass: it's easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. Until next time, I will live my life as though generations depend on me, and I will teach and encourage all of mine to do the same.
So the Silverback Society,
It's going to change the entire dynamic
of young people, but also
It's just going to change the entire dynamics of the environment that we live in and the world.
as it relates to what is happening in education.
I think the mentoring program is a success and that more states should incorporate the Silverback Society formed.
It's a space where folks who have been disconnected from the system are able to plug back in and like seed into the lives of young people.
But the knowledge and experience was given to me by my elders, and I need to pass that on.
And then they become attached to the school that they work at, the faculty. They become a face that's recognized, that's loved.
I'm very proud to be part of the organization.
As a younger black man, it is stuff like this that shows me which path I need to go down. And I'm just proud to be a part of the Silverback Society.